Well, there has been an outpouring of messages of solidarity and condolences for Paris from around the globe. The attacks, they're dominating news headlines, of course. Facebook allowing users to use a French flag filter on their profile pictures and enabled their Paris users to use Safety Check as a way of marking themselves safe on the night of the attacks. But for some people, it's all been too much. There has been a lot of discussion on Facebook, Twitter as well, about whether tragedies in the West are seen as more important and therefore given more attention than tragedies in developing countries. One of the examples being used is Kenya, where 147 people were killed this year when militants attacked a university in Garissa in the northeast. Sarakshi Rai is a digital journalist with firstpost.com in Mumbai. She's posted an opinion piece called "The Paris Attacks Show Us the Selective Outrage of the Western World." And let's take you to Mumbai. We can talk to her now. Thank you for joining us. Tell us what motivated you to write this article.
I think there was just a lot of condemnation on social media where people really felt for Paris, but at the same time they felt neglected and they felt, why aren't we being given the same sort of outrage and outpouring of support by the people of the world? Why is it that only after Paris is President Obama making a statement where, in his words, he says that the attack on Paris was not just an attack on Paris, but an attack on humanity? And that led a lot of questions where people were wondering, was the Garissa attack not an attack on humanity? Is the ongoing Syrian conflict not an attack on humanity? You know, people are wondering that why is Paris getting such, and not to take anything away from it, but why is it that Paris is receiving such an outpouring of support? Where is it because it happened in a European country to European people? And at the risk of sounding insensitive, that's how a lot of the users on social media feel.
How do you feel then as well about things like the safety check that Facebook put in place?
I mean, of course, Facebook has since then, which Mark Zuckerberg has come out and made a statement saying that, yes, it was a one-off, and yes, it wasn't right that just, you know, France had a safety check button and not Beirut, and that he is testing technology and that it will be a lot more widespread. But, you know, given everything, I think a lot of people aren't convinced by the argument he put forth, even though it's a good thing that they will be implementing this tool, you know, more widespread to sort of help people in conflict zones, in disaster areas. Yeah.
Do you think that there's something in the fact, though, that this is such a departure from what we've seen from Islamic State, that it's so deeply shocking that we're seeing it in a European capital?
Definitely. I think it's shocking. It's horrific what's happened in Paris. And, you know, there is no amount of support that people send to them right now that will make things better. You know, but in places like Syria and Beirut, it's something that they deal with every day. We saw yesterday at the Place de la République when people thought there was another attack. There was panic and fear, and you know, people were running. It was chaotic, and that's just an insight into what people in Lebanon and Syria go through every day. They don't feel like their home is safe, and sadly, that is what the Parisians feel now.
And so actually, what has been the reaction of social media users in India? Because, of course, the consumer can make this story too by clicking on links, by sharing information, by changing their profile picture to have the French flag behind them. We've seen that happen all over the world. But particularly, do you think there's been a response in India that's any different?
No. I mean, there are two sets of sort of social media users in India. One set that has expressed their love and solidarity for Paris and have changed their profile pictures and are posting you know, pictures from their trip and reminiscing about really happy memories. And there is another set of social media users that, while expressing their dismay at what has happened in Paris, they are wondering why, you know, why is it that, you know, a terrorist attack in Paris is receiving such an outrage when the people behind the 26/11 Mumbai attacks still haven't been apprehended. There hasn't been any sort of condemnation from the international community. We still don't have access to David Headley, who's in US custody, and that is another side of what the people in India feel. Would it be any different if, the world had spoken out about the 26/11 attacks, if they had pressed it to get the same sort of equipment and support? Would it be different? Would we have apprehended the masterminds now?
Okay, so actually, thank you very much for joining us from Mumbai, contributing to the conversation that we're having as well about the implications of what happened in Paris and what is happening elsewhere in the world as well.